I do not remember that night as a story of heroes. I remember it the way wounds are remembered, with the body trembling, with the back burning, with the mouth dry, and with a faith that also had to fight not to break. I was Paul, a servant sent to proclaim life. But that city did not first hear the truth. It heard the sound of its own interests falling to the ground. A young woman followed us through the streets. Her voice was saying true things, but her soul was held captive. And I could not keep walking, as if someone else's pain were only part of the scenery. I saw her walking behind us, with a laughter not her own. Her eyes were crying for mercy, while her mouth kept speaking doom. There were chains without iron. There was prison under skin. And I felt the heavens burning, where no one would look within. It was not only anger, it was weariness and compassion. It was seeing a broken daughter and hearing her heart cry out. Then I said, release her life now in the name of the Savior. And that shadow fell defeated, but the price came after that. Because when freedom reaches the prophet of the oppressor, a city can turn into a beast and call love a crime. They dragged us through the open squares, they covered us with accusation. And before we could defend ourselves, the rods came down without reason. בחצות הלילה אנחנו שרים, אדוני קרוב לשבורי לב. גם בכלא אורך מאיר, לא אפחד כי אתה עמדי. I am not made of stone. I also bleed beneath the pain. I also asked into the silence, how long, Adonai? How long, Adonai? Silas looked at me without words. I saw his lips begin to pray. And though the night was heavy, something in us started to sing. I did not sing because it did not hurt. I did not sing because all was well. I sang because if I stayed silent, my fear would conquer me. And in the deepest hidden cell, where the air smelled like the end, I learned that an open wound can also become an altar. My feet were locked inside the stocks, my back was burning without mercy. But deep inside my wounded chest there was a door to liberty. The other prisoners were listening, no one was sleeping in that place. Maybe they were searching in my song for the faith they could not raise. בחצות הלילה אנחנו שרים, אדוני קרוב לשבורי לב. גם בכלא אורך מאיר, לא אפחד כי אתה עמדי. And then I understood. Faith does not always open the door before the blow comes. Sometimes it waits with you in the darkness. Sometimes it does not remove the chain, but teaches you how to sing with it. I was not brave because I did not tremble. I trembled, but I kept believing. I was not strong because I felt no fear. I felt fear, but I was not alone. to speak, the stone began to crack. The whole prison took a breath as if it would come back to life. The doors were opened suddenly, the irons fell down to the ground, and everything that held us captive lost its power before heaven. But I did not run into the street, I did not try to save myself, because I knew that on that night another prisoner was the jailer. I heard his sword inside the shadow, I heard his soul fall without voice, and I cried with all my life, do not harm yourself, we are all here. כי אתה עימדי, בחצות הלילה אנחנו שרים, אדוני, אדוני קרוב לשבורי לב, גם בכלא אורך מאיר, לא אפחד כי אתה עימדי. Then that night the chains fell. But the miracle was not only the open door. The miracle was discovering that even wounded, even tired, even afraid, I could still sing.
The miracle did not end with the doors opening. Because while Paul and Silas were singing wounded, another man was also imprisoned. Not by chains, but by fear, by guilt, by an entire life of obeying orders without knowing who he was. He held the keys to the prison, but he had no peace in his soul. And when the earth began to shake, it was not only the prison that opened, the heart of the jailer
also began to break.
I was the jailer, the man with the keys, the one who shut the doors, the one who counted bodies, the one who learned not to look too long into men's eyes. In my line of work, feeling was dangerous. Compassion was weakness, and asking questions could cost you your life. That night they handed me two beaten men, Paul and Silas. They told me, guard them well. And I did what I always did. I closed the door, secured the stock, switched off my soul, and kept on breathing. I held the keys there in my hand, but my soul had nowhere to rest. I was guarding wounded prisoners, never seeing my own chains. I saw their blood upon the wood, I saw their backs without mercy, and though I tried not to feel it, something in me wanted to weep. I was living between cold walls, between shouting and fear. I learned that the strong stay silent and obey without tears. But that night was different.
Something started to awake,
because those broken men beside me would not stop singing. They did not curse their wounds,
they did not ask revenge,
they did not cry against heaven.
they sang through torn skin.
And I, behind my shadows, not knowing how to pray, heard within their song a door begin to open.
מה עליי לעשות כדי להיוושע? האמן באדון ישוע ותיוושע אתה וביתך.
prison, but I was the captive one of my guilt and of my sword, of my fear and my control. Every night was just the same, closing doors without a word. But the singing of those wounded men slowly pulled my armor off. I could not understand that power. It did not come from flesh. It did not come from human hands, nor from some earthly triumph. It was peace upon their wounds. It was fire without harm. It was light inside the dungeon. It was life at the threshold. And suddenly the earth began to shake, as if heaven had descended. The walls cried out and split apart, and death looked me in the face. The doors were standing open, the stocks fell to the floor, and I thought that all my future was collapsing in that fear. I pulled the sword out from my side and saw my shame before me. If all the prisoners had escaped, there was nothing left but the end. My life was heavy in the silence.
My name was worth no more.
I was the jailer of other men,
but I could not save myself.
Then I heard a broken voice,
yet full of deep compassion.
Do not harm yourself, we are all here. And those words went through me. It was not the voice of an enemy. It was no mockery or blame. It was a man whom I had wounded, saving my heart. I fell trembling before them. I, the man with the keys, the soldier of the night, the one who thought he carried authority. I felt like a lost child and asked with all my soul, what must I do to be saved? I was not asking for a religion. I was not asking for a theory. I asked because death was breathing close to me. And for the very first time, I wanted to live. They spoke to me of Master Yeshua, of a doorway far beyond, of a grace no strength can purchase and no wage can earn. They told me to believe with all my soul, to surrender all my darkness. And I felt that on that very night my prison fell behind me. I washed their wounds with my own hands, the same hands used to lock. And while I cleaned away their blood, something in me began again. They were no longer prisoners in my house, they were messengers of peace. And around my table there was joy where anxiety once reigned. My family heard the message,
my house began to breathe.
And in the waters of that night,
we all began again.
It was not only my future changing, it was the way I saw. Where once I only saw the guilty, I began to find my brothers. I had the keys, but I did not have freedom. I was shutting the doors, but living in the dark, until a voice from out of pain called me not to die. And in the most broken night, the Eternal taught me how to live. Since then, I understood that sometimes the prisoner is the one who holds the keys.